Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie if you are new here. Today I'm going to do a little March budget recap, go over what happened in March, what was good, what was bad. The funny thing is March was probably simultaneously our worst and our best month. We had a ton of money come in that we were able to push to savings. But then if you look at our budget, we went way over budget on a bunch of stuff. Yesterday when I was thinking about this, I was like a little bit, I don't know, embarrassed, anxious to like film this video because I knew how over budget we went on some of these things, which I'll show you. And then I was like, first of all, why do I care? Because it's my money. If Ben and I want to spend our money on, I don't know, 10,000 balloons, we can do that. I don't know where that came from. We can spend our money on whatever we want to spend. It really doesn't matter. I'm just sharing with you guys what we happen to do. But then I was like, we also saved the most money we have ever saved in our entire relationship together. And I think in our lives separately in 1 month. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. And I am so proud of us where we're at money-wise, how things have been going. So with that little like spiel going into it, I'm going to jump into this video, show you what happened in March. It is very cloudy out today, so just a precursor that the lighting might go in and out on this video, and it just is what it is. So let me get this set up and then we'll hop into it. I'm on my laptop right now, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Let's look at what happened in March. Okay, so here is our March budget recap. You guys can see some of what happened and then we'll go through it. So first of all, I want to say in our little up and coming category, cash grant, we got that, which I'll tell you guys about in a minute. April, Pilates studio, I actually ended up signing up for that in March, which you'll see. Car needs an oil change. It actually needed a bunch of air filters too, and it actually needed that. We didn't just get like bamboozled. So that was a big piece of the budget as well. Bonus / raise we'll talk about, and then website renewal is something that also came through. So all those things came through. Over here, my income was what I expected it to be. Benjamin's was $7,700 more than we were anticipating because that is a bonus and a cash grant that he got from work. So this was a big month for him. We didn't have any real rollover. Our beacon payment was normal. And then we had a little bit here. So it looks like I had interest plus ATM renewal. I don't know what that $482 is. That must be something from savings that I pulled over maybe. I don't remember. Now I can't remember what that $482 is. If I remember it in editing, I'll tell you guys. But interest and ATM reimbursement, refund from Wake Med, the doctor I used to go to in Raleigh. And I did move some money over from savings for a tablet because I take it out of my business. So it's technically income, but it's really not. It came from savings. So I would say our overall income this month was $17,000. And again, most of that is because Ben got a large bonus from work because he does such a great job at his job, and then he got his cash grant, which I think he'll only get through the rest of this year. It's just something that his company has to pay him out. It was part of his package when he signed on, and then they went from public to private, so they can no longer offer that benefit. So now they have to pay people out what they were like given in their package. So we had an extremely high income month, but you'll see that most of that went to savings plus some. So we were still expecting over $10,000 this month. The 482 was rollover. I put it in the wrong place. Smart. Anyway, so that is what happened there. Lots of great income coming in. Very grateful for that. If you guys have watched my stuff before, you know that it has not always been that high, so we're like super grateful when that stuff does come in. Rent, that all this was normal. It looks like our TV subscriptions was a little bit higher. That's mostly because sometimes I don't know what those things are. Like, in fact, I think this shouldn't be in here. I didn't do great at my budget this month, if you can't tell. But the rest of this stuff is normal. Ben's apps were a little bit off, so I probably put one of these in there when it shouldn't have been. So I was a little bit higher for gym membership. It was my last month at Lifetime, which was $57.68, like prorated. And then I bought or I have this like diastasis recti program that I honestly haven't been following, so I need to either cancel it or actually start using it. That was $19.95. And then I did pay $133 for a month of Pilates because April 1st, aka today, the day that I'm filming this, they were like upping the prices. So I got in before April 1st because I was intending to sign up for April anyway. I just didn't have it budgeted for this month, which is why it's over budget, but it's really not. Moving forward, I believe it's $105 or $109 a month for the package that I got for Pilates. I'm required to stay with it for 3 months, and then if I'm not using it enough, which I should be, but if I'm not enjoying it, then I will cancel it because we do have our home gym. But I've just noticed that Pilates, reformer Pilates specifically, has been really helpful for just my body in general. So moving on, the rest of this stuff is fairly normal. The only thing here is that I did end up, the Squarespace charge is my website renewal, and then I didn't put it over budget because it didn't technically come from our budget. As you saw, it came from like my business savings, but I bought a tablet. So that's something that I'm able to write off for my business. So we spent $38.42.40 in fixed expenses. It was about $94 over budget, and that's just because of the tablet wasn't budgeted for because all these other things were a little bit different. Do I have this set up correctly? No, I don't. I was gonna say, yeah, it was $618 over budget. So our debt was the same. Again, if you've been watching, you know that we're not currently paying any more on our debt. At the end of the year, we may throw a lump sum at it, but currently we're just paying the minimums on these are all student loan debt besides obviously our car loan. So that was about $988.85 of debt. And now you can see where the problem came in. Do you see all this red? Do you see all this red? So we went very over budget, very over budget. And again, I was like a little bit embarrassed about it, and then I was like, why am I embarrassed about this? This is my money. And this is just what happened. So groceries, we were over by about $275. Nice, so $276 almost. Yeah, I don't know. We've just been over budget on groceries. If you watch my April budget with me, I did up our grocery budget to $1,000. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also hoping to purchase less packaged food this month, which means hopefully this will like help it be better. I want to try to incorporate more whole foods into my diet, just meaning I'm not going to be buying as much like chips and things. And because we have like food allergies and stuff in our household, we have to buy like the expensive stuff. I can't just go buy Doritos because neither Ben nor I can eat Doritos, like that kind of stuff. I have to buy like the Shaman Blessed Doritos, you know, like the organic, no dairy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like twice the price of Doritos. That's the type of stuff that I think gets us in trouble sometimes, but it's also the way that we have to eat. So moving on to Costco. Now this one's confusing. Technically, we weren't over budget. Technically, I spent $296.05, which is just under our $300 budget. But then we went to Costco for a second trip, and Ben needed potting soil, and he also got some graham crackers that we saw, but he also bought an air fryer. I think the air fryer itself was like $160, so we were still a little over budget on Costco. The problem is, and maybe all Costco's do this, I didn't realize this, they don't refund you on your card if it's a debit card, so that's super annoying. So technically, if you look at our like Ally account, our banking account, we spent $182.97, but I have a $160 Costco gift card. So I'll be using that in my April Costco trip, which will be tomorrow. So I need to remember to use that. So our April budget will be much less. So that's like how it's going to even out. Does that make sense? So we were technically over budget if you look at our Ally account, but that's because I have $150 sitting in a gift card. So that's where that is. So that one I don't even really count. I think I'm going to take that one out of red because no, it still technically is over budget. Anyways, restaurants and takeout. Do you see how over budget we went? So if you watched any of my vlogs, anything like that, you know that March was a very, very stressful month for me mental health wise. And I think that that's when I tend to gravitate towards something that's going to give me like you know, that like happy feeling, which for me is not having to make my own food. So we did a lot of takeout. I got like Indian food. I went to McDonald's a bunch for Coke, which is something that I've cut out or will be cutting out in April. A lot of just different Uber Eats stuff you can see over here. Coffee a couple of times. But yeah, so the big kahuna was Uber Eats, because you pay, you know, even if it's like $0 delivery, you're paying extra. If you didn't know, you pay extra to the place. Like say you're ordering from Qdoba, the price of the bowl is more than if you just went to Qdoba, because Uber Eats ups that price, which is so annoying, and I wish that they couldn't do that. They charge you so much, and I know this, but sometimes it's just nice to use. However, we went a little bit crazy this month. So we were $300 over budget on food out. So that will be something that I will be chilling out on in April, hopefully. I'm feeling a little bit better mentally, so hopefully that part will be helpful. And then just focusing on eating more whole food and just like more food at home. I think that that'll be helpful. But anyways, that was a big one that shouldn't be that over budget. Technically, we were $1.74 over budget on medication and supplements because Benjamin bought me a bunch of stuff from Shop Organic Olivia. I think it's called Organic Olivia, but they have all kinds of like tinctures and stuff. Again, because I've been having a lot of anxiety, a lot of health anxiety and physical issues. So he bought me some stuff. So I hadn't budgeted for that because he did it as like a nice thing. So that was $115. And then Ben had already bought his seed, and my Armor is in there for my thyroid medication. So a little bit over budget, but obviously not that big of a deal. We were $91 over budget on household, and that is because of gardening stuff. Ben went fairly over budget on his gardening budget, and then the rest of the stuff honestly would have been in budget. It was because he went over budget on gardening stuff, which is, it is what it is. So you can see over here like what we spent on. Beauty, we were under budget. Oh, technically, oh, I did this wrong. Here. Plus 60 plus 10. That makes more sense. Wow, well look at that. It takes two things out of that. If maybe I would do this correctly, I wouldn't have this issue. So we were technically in budget for beauty. I did not get my nails done, but I did end up getting a pedicure. I get a pedicure like once every 4 months. I actually don't love pedicures, but I hate painting my own toenails. I know that this is like first world problems. I totally understand that, but I think getting a pedicure 2, maybe 3 times a year is not that big of a deal. So that is what I got. But as you can see, Ben got hair stuff and shaving cream. So that was most of the budget, and then, well, like half the budget, and then the rest of it went to my pedicure that I got this last weekend, which you can see in my vlog, which actually won't be up till this weekend. So if you see a vlog, it's gonna be up on Saturday. Moving on to personal spending, technically under budget a little bit. Looks like, oh, I got some cards for Ben. I bought a book, and then I bought that green mama sweatshirt that I told you guys about in couple of my videos. Moving on to doctors, we were a little bit under budget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 therapy charges, and then acupuncture, I think is, what is $16.99? I swear that I like did stuff wrong, and I just don't even know what I did wrong. But that is what it is. Utilities, we were under budget for the 3 things that came out this month. And then we were over budget by $98 for the car, and that we did get gas one time. But then the car, I had budgeted a little bit more for a car this month. Oh yeah, when first of all, Ben brought the car to get an oil change, and it took like 4 hours because it was just like a bad day for them. But they ended up needing to change our air filters, and again, we didn't get like screwed over on that. Our air filters have like smelled for a really long time. So they changed those out, which is why it was extra. Cora and Finn, we got their dog food twice, so it was about $136. And then we were over budget by almost $300 in miscellaneous, and that's because we bought this Lumi box. And I guess we were over budget a little bit besides that. So we bought, oh, the gym setup is in here, that's why. And that's why this is so big. Usually our miscellaneous is not this big, but our gym setup is in here, which you guys saw in one of my vlogs, that we set up a gym in our garage. So that was about $400. And then we bought some drawers for Ivy. That was $128 from IKEA. Ben had a HostGator charge that I wasn't expecting. I did a GoFundMe for actually the woman that we got Finn from has cancer, so she's going through like chemo and stuff like that. So I gave just a small amount to her GoFundMe, but I wanted to do something. Ben took money out of the ATM and like didn't think about the fact that it would affect the budget. Because he doesn't think about that kind of stuff. So he took money out of an ATM for something. I don't even know what he needed money for. $388.95. Yeah, that was our Lumi box. So we bought a red light therapy box. Again, like health stuff. We were really putting money into health stuff the beginning of this year, probably forever, but honestly the beginning of this month was something that was really important to us. We spent $5,161.56 in variable expenses. We were $1,000, almost $1,000 over budget there. But now we'll move into the good part, but you can't even see the full good part. But I did spend a little bit on Easter stuff, and for some reason I hadn't budgeted anything. I think I thought that I wasn't gonna make Ivy an Easter basket, but that was dumb because I wanted to make Ivy an Easter basket. So I spent like, it was about $100. I think that I bought a couple other little things that weren't for her basket. I had planned on putting $700 in savings, and we actually put more than this in savings. So I put $7,740 in savings, and that was that extra that you see up here from Ben, from his, sorry if you can hear the water running in the background, from his bonus and from his cash grant that he gets every like 3 months for the next year or two. So that was a big one. And then we put like $5,000 more, $6,000 more in savings from taxes. So you guys can see here that we have $25,000 in our savings account, which we definitely did not have last month. So this is why I don't even care that we went over budget on like our regular budget stuff, because we were able to put so much money into our personal savings. Now, you're probably seeing this number, and if you're one of those people that's like super Dave Ramsey obsessed, and I'm totally like, I'm not trying to like judge you. I'm just like not a fan of the whole like eat beans and rice for the rest of your life until you have zero debt. Like that's just not something that we're willing to do anymore. We did it for a while and it was terrible for us. So that's not the way that we choose to live our life. So you would probably see this and be like, why aren't you paying off some of these? And my answer to that is, this is the first time we've ever had a substantial savings. If you see how much we spend every month, granted, if Ben lost his job, we could like find a way to like cut some stuff, but we wouldn't be able to cut it down that much. So we need a higher savings. Like $1,000 in a savings account does nothing for us, and I think it does nothing for a lot of people. I think it's a great place to start, but then we have bled out our savings a couple of times because of big things that have come up, so we just want to have a bigger amount. In fact, our goal for 2024 was $15,000, and we surpassed that. We put that out into the universe, and the universe was like, God was like, you should be dreaming bigger because I'm giving you more. So we're super grateful to this. Our plan is to continue putting money into savings every month. At the end of the year, if we feel like we're in a good spot and we haven't had any like big health things or stuff come up that we feel like we need that, we might take a little bit of that and like pay off one of these two debts, because these two are going to take a little bit longer. So that's the plan with that, but super excited about that number, which is why I'm really not mad at all about what has happened this month in this category. Definitely, if we could have done better, that would have been great. And we are going to pay attention more in April, but I still think we did amazingly. I also put $735 in my business savings as well. So spent 77 in that category, but that was almost all savings. So we technically spent $18,573.58 this month, which is insane. And now I will say I kind of like fudged this a little bit because I had paid my credit card bill on Friday, and that includes stuff that I bought in March. So I put it like part of it's in here and part of it's in the next month's budget, which is probably going to be confusing for a lot of people. But that's just like what I need to do so that I know, because the stuff I bought on my credit card, normally I would pay it in time where it would have showed up, but because of Easter, it like messed everything up budget wise. So that's why it looks like we spent like a perfect zero when we really didn't. It's just that my credit card bill won't come out until tomorrow, April 2nd. But it was from stuff I bought in March, if that makes sense. So I want it to be in the March budget. Anyways, that's what happened. That is how March went for us. I'm super proud of us. I think that we did great. I don't think Benjamin and I ever thought that, like, we thought maybe we would get to 25,000 in like a year or two. So it just feels really good to be in a really good spot savings wise. Obviously there is extreme room for change, especially in like these categories moving forward. But why do I just realized I have household in red. You guys were probably screaming at me watching this. This wasn't over budget. So I guess there wasn't as much over budget as I thought. I ended up turning 3 of them off of red. So I guess it wasn't as terrible as I thought, but the ones that were over budget were like quite over budget. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. We're gonna try to do better in April, especially in the restaurants and takeout category, and we'll see how it goes with our groceries, if we need to up that or what we need to do with that. So thank you so much for watching this video. I know that I'm kind of like pew 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 today. That's just like where my brain is, but I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.